What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary, retired, iconic, Hall of Fame, superstar boxer, 5-division world champion, pound for pound king, pay-per-view king, the man formerly known as Pretty Boy, now known as Money Mayweather, and to many today as TBE, the best ever, Floyd Mayweather Jr., who retired 50 wins, no losses, no draws, 27 big wins by way of knockout. As I stated, he's a 5-division world champion, pound for pound king. Floyd Mayweather fought at 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach, and he fought in multiple weight classes and was a world champion and unified champion in multiple weight classes. He weighs in. Floyd Mayweather is now a promoter. He has Mayweather Promotions with CEO Leonard Ellaby. And Floyd Mayweather, he weighs in on undefeated welterweight, phenom, as I call him, superstar title contender, Jaron Boots Ennis, who is now 31 wins, no losses, no draws, 28 big wins by way of knockout. He is 26 years of age, 5'10", with a 74-inch arm reach. Floyd Mayweather is not the only one. Undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford is 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. And so did undefeated, unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not #1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are the 2 champions in Jaron Boots Ennis' welterweight division. As you see here, Jaron Boots Ennis, he this past Saturday took on Roman Villa, and he dominated, getting a 10th round stoppage victory. As you see here, brutal knockout victory over Roman Villa. Now, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, they're going to face each other July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, and they hold the 2 titles. Jaron Boots Ennis is ranked high in the IBF. He's actually Errol Spence's IBF, International Boxing Federation, mandatory challenger. He's also high in the WBO, WBC as well, okay? So these 2 fighters, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, are on the hook to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, and he's trying to force his way into a fight with either guy after their fight. But it's simply not going to happen. So Floyd Mayweather, he says that Jaron Boots Ennis, he don't know where he came from. He's an alien, and that this dude can simply fight. He's on deck as to be the next big thing in the sport of boxing. Terrence Bud Crawford, he responded to Roman Villa's victory over, Jaron Boots Ennis' victory over Roman Villa, and he said that that fight should have been stopped earlier because Jaron Boots Ennis was simply painting a pretty picture on this man's face, and they should have been stopped the fight. Errol Spence, he responded with pure silence, and you know he saw the fight. And that just lets you know everything you need to know about the fight and Jaron Boots Ennis. As Errol Spence has already acknowledged, Jaron Boots Ennis is on deck to be one of the next best things in the sport of boxing. Now, with that said, unfortunately for Jaron Boots Ennis, he probably will never secure a fight with Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, simply because Errol Spence is 33 years of age and he's fighting his last fight in the welterweight division. Terrence Bud Crawford is 35 years of age, and he's fighting his last fight in the division against Errol Spence. The winner and the loser are both going to move up and weight and then have an immediate rematch. They have 30 days to activate their rematch clause. This is the biggest fight in boxing in the last 40 years, since September 16th, 1981, when we had a mega undisputed welterweight showdown between Thomas the Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard for the WBA and WBC titles. There was no IBF and WBO as major sanction belts. Those came later. So with that said, since that fight, as far as competition goes and top 2 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, we haven't had that. We had a mega, massive, record-breaking never to be broken showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. But that fight, it in the ring, competitive-wise, was seen as Manny Pacquiao was built as the guy to beat Floyd Mayweather, okay? He wasn't on Floyd Mayweather's radar until he started to move up after Floyd Mayweather beat Oscar De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton and then went on a hiatus and retired. Then people started to talk about Manny Pacquiao, who dared to be great, fought Oscar De La Hoya. He stopped Oscar De La Hoya. Then he fought Miguel Cotto, stopped Miguel Cotto. He stopped Ricky Hatton. Then he started to go on a tear, and people started to really take notice and started to make him and Floyd Mayweather a reality. But prior to that, Floyd Mayweather was a fan of Manny Pacquiao's, and he fought in smaller weight classes. Then it was built up as Manny Pacquiao's the man to beat Floyd Mayweather, and it became a massive lucrative fight. 4.6 million pay-per-view buys, $500 million in revenue brought in, the most lucrative, biggest fight, most anticipated fight in boxing history. But prior to that, Manny Pacquiao was brutally knocked out by a man Floyd Mayweather dominated in 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, Hall of Fame legend, icon, and Juan Manuel Marquez, who had taken Manny Pacquiao to 3 fights where they fought to a draw, and then 2 fights that was questionable that Manny Pacquiao won that you can make a case Marquez won, and then Floyd Mayweather dominated him. Yeah, Marquez fought Manny Pacquiao for a 4th time and brutally knocked Manny Pacquiao out. And that was the 3rd time Manny Pacquiao had been knocked out, and he was grossly outboxed by another legend, another 3-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, and Eric Morales, who badly outboxed Manny Pacquiao in their first fight. And in the second fight, Manny Pacquiao, he stopped Eric Morales. So we've seen the blueprint already there to beat Manny Pacquiao. But as far as, competitive-wise, many people deem that fight as the guy who was going to finally end Floyd Mayweather's reign, and that simply was not the case. Then we had fights like Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. That was a big fight as well. But this fight right here are top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. They're both undefeated. There's no blueprint to beat either guy, and they are both dogs. So it's a completely different time with these 2 guys. So with that said, Jaron Boots Ennis is more than likely not going to get his opportunity to fight either one of these guys unless he fights one of these guys at 154. But I highly doubt seeing him fight Terrence Bud Crawford at 154, seeing as though he's already 35 years of age, and he's let the world know he's simply not interested in fighting into his late 30s, and he's already 35 with 2 fights already on him with Errol Spence that he has to fulfill to begin with. And then he's going to the deck was already laid out for him beautifully to beat Errol Spence, become undisputed at welterweight, and then go up and fight Errol Spence's stablemate, close friend, and training partner in 3-time junior middleweight world champion, who's the undisputed junior middleweight world champion, superstar, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Jermell Ironman Charlo. Jermell Charlo is 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'11.5" with a 73.5-inch arm reach. But Jermell Charlo is now moving up to super middleweight, 168, to challenge 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is the undisputed super middleweight world champion and widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draw, 39 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. They're going to fight September 30th. So Jermell Charlo is not going to fight. I highly doubt he fights at 154 anymore. But the deck was clear for Terrence Crawford to go ahead, beat Errol Spence, then fight Jermell Charlo and become a 3-division undisputed champion. Now the likelihood of him landing a Terrence Crawford fight, that being Jaron Ennis, is more likely than it was in the past, because now Jermell Charlo is going to eventually vacate those belts. I highly doubt he comes back down to 54. There's talks he can, and he's going to vacate those belts. But if he does come back down, then the road is clear. Even win, lose, or draw, come back down, the road is clear if Terrence Crawford is victorious. It's more doubt. It's not so likely that Errol Spence will fight Jermell Charlo, but the door is open. it's not so much. Terrence Crawford 100% is going to fight Jermell Charlo if he beats Errol Spence twice, and Jermell Charlo's there at 154. Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence is more 50-50 chance that it happened because they share the same trainer and two-time trainer of the year, well-renowned trader, future Hall of Famer, and Derrick James, and they close friends and stablemates. So that's more of a toss-up if it'll happen. So Jaron Boots Ennis puts on a dazzling performance. Floyd Mayweather deems him to be the next best thing in the sport of boxing. Terrence Crawford acknowledged him, and so does Errol Spence with silence. That tells you everything you need to know about Jaron Boots Ennis. But the likelihood of him landing one of those fights in the near future without becoming, now if he chooses not to become a champion at 147, then it's more likely. But if he chooses to become a champion at 147, then it's more or less likely because it's going to take time to become a champion at 147. So the road is not so clear for Boots to face off against Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. He'll more than likely have to fight the Amanda Stanionis, possible Keith Thurman, those types of fights before he lands a Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford fight in the future. So with that said, Jaron Boots Ennis, his style, his skills, it's a great thing, but it's a gift and a curse, point blank and period. So we got to see what's next for him. Looks like Stanionis, Keith Thurman, more so Stanionis than Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 69-inch arm reach, said he would sign the contract to fight Jaron Boots Ennis if Al Heyman sent it over. But that's like not going to happen next, as Keith Thurman is looking to fight former WBA welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas in August. Then if Jaron Ennis, who wants to come back and fight later this year. But it's more so Amanda Stanionis, who's the WBA regular champion, 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach, could possibly be next for Jaron Boots Ennis. So we just have to see how the deck unfolds for Jaron Boots Ennis and what's next. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.